Hi there, my name's Ashley Mills and my job is to tell you everything you need to know to pass your People in Computing driving test. The purpose of the driving test is to familiarise yourself with the mbed K64F board and the application shield, just enough so that you feel confident working on a group programming project involving this board. So the first thing to do is to get your board. And the board and the shield go hand in hand. So if yours isn't already clipped together, do so now. Done that? Great. On the board is a computer, and on the application shield are sensors. So what we have is a computer and some sensors. The board is an ARM chip and uses C++ to program it. But don't worry, you're not going to have to learn C or C++, because we've written a Java API, so you can use what you're already familiar with. The first thing we're going to do then is take a look at what's on the board. Okay, so let's take a look at the board. Now the first thing that's important to note, and it's not a sensor, but it's very important, that on the top right here, and if we turn this over, this is labelled OpenSDA. This is a micro USB port. And this is a port into which you'll plug your USB cable in order to program the device. So remember that one, OpenSDA. If we look on the front, let's take a tour of the sensors. What we have here is a speaker, a piezoelectric speaker. This can produce a small variety of sounds and tones. It can be quite fun to play Christmas tunes on. What we have here is a temperature sensor. This allows you to measure the temperature. And here is an accelerometer. This allows you to measure gravitational pull in 3 axes. So it allows you to determine the orientation of the board. This is an LED, an RGB LED, which you can produce beautiful colours with. This is a text screen, which allows you to produce 128 by 32 pixels. So you can draw graphics or you can draw text on there. This is a joystick. It has 4 directions of movement, as well as a button press. These 2 blue things are called potentiometers. And when you turn them, they return a number, which is representative of their position. This allows you to do things like control the color of the LED, or control the position of a pixel on the screen. And if we look on the board itself, we've got a few more sensors and actuators. On the left and right here, these are switches. And you can record whether or not these are pushed down, and then take actions accordingly. And finally, there's another RGB LED on the board. Let's go through those again. A speaker. Temperature sensor. A 3-axis accelerometer. A shield LED, which is red, green and blue. LCD screen. There is a joystick with 4 directions of movement and a button. And there are 2 potentiometers whose position can be measured and then used. On the Freedom board itself, there's 2 additional switches, SW3 and SW2. And finally, there's another LED on the Freedom board, which is called the board LED. This example is similar to something you programmed early on. You might remember it from the old BlueJ book, where you had to resize objects or shapes on a screen to build a house. So in this case, we can see the shapes on the screen there, but the mbed is now being used to control the location of the shapes with the joystick here. You see I'm moving the blue circle around. And the size of the shape, so I can use the left potentiometer here to to control the size of that blue circle. If I want to select a new shape, I can press the right button. So that's now selected the left red square, which can now be moved around. Oh, and you can change the colour of a shape by pressing fire. Oh, that's a nice demo, isn't it? Here's another example which essentially uses the computer as its main display, and it uses the mbed Java API to control what's seen on the display. When I press the left button here, a ball is dropped from the top of the screen and bounces along. And if I press this button very quickly, many balls drop from the top of the screen and fall along. It's just an example of how you can use the mbed to control a program that's running on the computer.